Frankie, thank you very much. Time for the bright spot on this Wednesday. 4 Wide on the Couch. Good morning. You're watching Breakfast Television. It was last week we had the Caitlyn Clark conversation, right?
Yeah.
So Caitlyn Clark, I know a lot of you know who Caitlyn Clark is. For those of you who don't, she is one of the most buzzworthy athletes in North America right now. Just finished her college basketball career at the University of Iowa. Highest scoring player in the history of college basketball, men or women. Was just drafted first overall in the WNBA draft, and she is the talk of the sporting world, including the marketing side of New York City, who have been all over her as a brand. And rumor has it her sneaker deal was fast approaching. We can now report to you, as a follow-up to the buzz that is Caitlyn Clark, she has signed a deal with Nike. 8 years, $28 million, which is significant when you remember the conversation we had last week where she's basically making no money on her rookie contract as one of the biggest players in the history of the WNBA. It obviously includes a signature shoe, among other things. It's the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player in history. The Wall Street Journal report that Clark received offers of $16 million over 4 years from Under Armour and $6 million over 4 from Adidas, with both including a signature shoe. There were some companies that and they were open about this, they would have paid her more if she stayed at Iowa, just because of the TV branding that was going on there and how many eyes were on the women's basketball tournament. Whatever, Nike said, no, 28 million, boom. And once again, all boats are rising here because of Caitlyn Clark. Just some thoughts on the deal. It's a massive, massive marketing moment.
I mean, that's huge, especially if it's the biggest one in women's athletics. And $75,000, I think, per year is what her current contract is with the WNBA for 4 years. And so that makes it a little bit sweeter. You were saying that let's just wait for sponsorship and see what happens. And here we go.
It is definitely happening there.
Yeah, and I mean, absolutely thrilled for her. I think, though, there's some part of me that feels like, because we did have this discussion, I knew you weren't in the studio for that, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But, you know, the pay gap is so huge. I mean, even President Biden commented on it just with some surprise. Totally understanding the differences of the TV deals there and where that discrepancy can also be coming from. But it feels, you know, how we have a discussion of, you know, the minimum wage isn't where it needs to be, but there's tipping happening, so it kind of evens itself out. But really, the money should be coming from the employer. There's a part of me that feels a bit like this for here. Is this an incredible deal? Am I thrilled for her? Does she deserve the shoe and all the millions? Absolutely. And I think we should be really proud of that because it's setting a bar on its own.
Absolutely.
But there is a part of it that feels like, yeah, she's getting the money, but is it from the right spot? Could she not be getting both?
Yeah, this is the elite of the elite when it comes to who is in that sport getting all that money, and it's not trickling down to the other athletes that are working just as hard. And again, what you're saying for the salary. Now, understanding the economics of the NBA, sponsoring the WNBA, and also putting money into that, otherwise it will be a losing business. So there is that gap because the business itself, the WNBA, is not making a lot of money. So I understand that aspect of it. But you're right. It needs to grow and get a little. I mean, it's never going to get to the NBA salaries because some of them are just outrageous. But it needs to get to where it's a livable salary. Like $75,000 for somebody is, I'm sorry, this day and age is not that great. So
not when you're the best
of the best
women's basketball player in the league.
Yeah, it's got to get there. But I understand why the gap is there when the business isn't making money. You have to make money, and that's where sponsorships come in. That's where Nike can put some of that money into, or whoever it is, put money into the business of the WNBA. That's where other businesses have to support. People have to go to the games. You know, we can't all complain about it if we don't go and attend and buy tickets and buy merch and buy those jerseys. You know what I mean? So I love this deal for her. We knew it was coming. I'd like to see more of these. I mean, this is massive, so I don't know if it's going to get to that point, but more of these deals and these types of deals for other athletes in the WNBA and women's athletics in general. We're seeing the PWHL and how that's going. You know, I have my niece is playing in the ESO Cup, which is happening right now in BC, and I'm watching these under 18.
Did a TV interview the other day.
She did a TV interview, and that's my bright spot.
We'll mention the station.
But watching that and seeing people going and supporting that, and Hockey Canada taking a turn now too to get some sponsorship dollars and them changing their ways and people wanting to get back to it. So seeing women's athletics get that boost to me is huge, and that's the bright spot of this for me.
For sure. And one last thing, you talk about people going. Like right now in Canada, you don't have the option to go to a WNBA game.
Yeah.
For now, Toronto's going to get in the queue.
Yeah.
Expansion fees. There's 7 cities in line. That's part of the revenue as well. That's going to be unbelievable. And congratulations to Caitlyn Clark. Well deserved.